8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Ogaraj, read by Soundit Avam. The President says that although the lives lost due to the internal war cannot be given back, the economic and social conditions of the relatives of those victims will be restored. The President stated that the real victory of the government will depend on how the economic challenges are addressed. The US says all creditors must agree to fair and equitable treatment. Over 70 military officers awarded with Vishishta Seva Vibhushna medals. It is stressed that government institutions should function as profit-making entities through effective management of those institutions. The Excise Department plans to close all liquor shops in connection with the 75th Independence Day of Sri Lanka. The Gazette on the local government election date published. Foreign Minister Sabri meets US official Victoria Nuland. Mudalige leaves court premises after being granted bail. News overseas. Pope Francis in the Democratic Republic of Congo, a million celebrate Kinshasa Mass. And in sports, Enzo Fernandez transfer news, Chelsea complete British record £107 million fee for Benfica midfielder. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that although the lives lost due to the internal war cannot be given back, the economic and social conditions of the relatives of those victims will be restored. The real victory of the government will depend on how the economic challenges are addressed. The President made these comments at a function held in Kandy, President's House, to honour 77 members of the Triforces with Special Service Vibhushna awards and relevant medals. 53 Army personnel in connection with the years 2019, 2020 and 2021 and 17 members from the Sri Lanka Navy were honoured with medals at this function. 77 military officers were honoured with the Vishishta Seva Vibhushna medals by President Ranil Wickremesinghe this evening. The medals were awarded at a ceremony held in Kandy this evening, the President's Media Division PMD reported. The Gazette notification pertaining to the holding of the local government election on 9th March 2023 has been published. The local government notifications have been issued by the respective district returning officers for the local government bodies of each district under subsection 38(1)(c) of the Local Authorities Elections Ordinance. They state that the poll for those local authorities will be taken on March 9th, 2023 from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. The chairman of the Election Commission on Monday said that all relevant documents received from returning district officers to hold the local government election on March 9th was sent to the government printer to be gazetted. Minister Bandulu Gunawardena stressed that the government institutions should function as profit-making entities through effective management of those institutions. The minister made these comments while participating at a function held at the Hikkarua Divisional Secretariat today. And addressing the audience, the minister further said that effective steps have to be taken to convert the railway department, which runs at a loss for a long time, to a profit-making venture. The lands which are not used by the railway department will be utilised effectively to generate income, the minister added. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ali Sabri, today met with the US Under-Secretary for Political Affairs, Victoria Nuland. Accordingly, matters of mutual importance in the context of 75 years of bilateral relations between the two countries were discussed, while Sabri also welcomed the solidarity extended by the US government towards Sri Lanka's discussion with the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Taking to Twitter, the minister further expressed his gratitude towards the assistance provided by the USA with regards to addressing Sri Lanka's ongoing economic crisis. The US official arrived in Sri Lanka this morning and was received by the US ambassador to Sri Lanka, Julie Chung, upon her arrival. Nuland later visited President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Presidential Secretariat, during which several matters of concern, including Sri Lanka's ongoing discussions with the IMF and the full implementation of the 13th Amendment, were discussed. The convener of the Inter-University Students' Federation, IUSF, Vasantha Mudalige, who was granted bail in 3 cases filed against him, left the Colombo Magistrates Court premises a short while ago. The student leader was in custody for 167 days after he was arrested in August last year. On Tuesday, January 31st, Mudalige was released from the case filed against him on charges under the Prevention of Terrorism Act (PTA). Delivering the order, the Colombo Chief Magistrate Prasanna Alvis had mentioned that the accused, who was detained since 22nd August 2022, was not found to have committed any offences under the PTA. The Excise Department plans to close all liquor shops in connection with the 75th Independence Day of Sri Lanka. The Commissioner General of the Department has given the relevant instructions in this regard. Accordingly, all liquor shops remain closed on 4th February, the Independence Day, and the day after 5th February, when Navam Poya falls. The communique also stated that strict legal action will be taken against those who break this law. And that concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
While reiterating its continuous support to Sri Lanka for the implementation of the IMF program, the United States, however, said yesterday that all creditors must agree to fair and equitable treatment, as then only the IMF can move forward. This was revealed during a meeting between the U.S. Ambassador Julie Chung and the State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinghe in Colombo yesterday. The U.S. Ambassador met with State Minister Shehan Semasinghe to discuss Sri Lanka's work to implement key economic reforms as part of efforts to ensure IMF assistance. The U.S. continues to support Sri Lanka at the IMF, but all creditors must agree to fair and equitable treatment so the IMF can move forward. The U.S. Ambassador made these comments at a tweet message. In reply, the State Minister also tweeted saying that the United States of America elaborating on reforms introduced for economic stability and recovery. It was reiterated the continuous support from the USA for the people of Sri Lanka and the IMF program, and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And moving on to Watchlight. The Commissioner General of Examinations, Amit Jayasundara, said that the applications related to the 2022 Ordinary Level Examination will be accepted through the online system from today to the 28th of February. Applications can be made via the Examination Department websites www.donets.lk or www.onlineexams.gov.lk/EIC, and came to you in Watchlight. And we move on to a bulletin of world news. Making headlines tonight, missing radioactive capsule found in Australia. India budget focuses on tax relief and spending boost. Pope Francis in the Democratic Republic of Congo, 1 million celebrate Kinshasa Mass. Authorities in Western Australia say they found a tiny radioactive capsule which went missing last month. Emergency services had literally found the needle in the haystack, they said. A huge search was triggered when the object was lost while being transported along a 1,400-kilometre route across the state. In line with the Indian government's ramped-up focus on building roads, highways and power plants since 2014, India's overall capital expenditure saw a sharp jump of 33%, which is marginally lower than the 35.4% increase budgeted last year. But at $122 billion, it marks a 3-time increase over capital expenditure in 2019. Money for railway projects saw the highest ever outlay of $24 billion. Pope Francis has celebrated one of the biggest masses with around 1 million attendees in the Democratic Republic of Congo's capital, estimates say. Huge crowds started to gather in Kinshasa well before dawn, including scores of schoolgirls dressed in white who danced along the Pope's route. A public holiday was declared so as many people as possible could attend. Back to the headlines of the world news. Missing radioactive capsule found in Australia. India budget focuses on tax relief and spending boost. Pope Francis in the Democratic Republic of Congo, 1 million celebrate Kinshasa Mass. That concludes this bulletin of world news, and on to development news. For the first time after 3 years, Sri Lanka was able to record a 6-digit tourism arrival figure of around 102,000 for the month of January 2023, signalling major revival of the industry. Also recording another unique achievement, there were 1,269 Russian arrivals yesterday, which is the highest number of Russian arrivals per day up to now. Around 1,800 Russian tourists landed in Sri Lanka from the Bandaranaike International Airport and a further 410 at the Mattala Airport on 4 flights yesterday, and came to you in development news. And on to sports, it's soccer. Chelsea have signed Benfica's Argentina midfielder Enzo Fernandez for a British record €121 million transfer fee. The deal eclipses the £100 million Manchester paid for Jack Grealish in 2021. Fernandes, who joined Benfica for a reported £10 million in August, was named Young Player of the tournament during Argentina's World Cup triumph in Qatar. That came to you in sports news. We take a look at business news next.
Go ekaktiana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dakapugina habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship ekamenna.
The all new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
John Keel's group earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization recorded an improvement of 10.41 billion rupees during the quarter under review, which is an increase of 9% against the comparative period of last year. 2021-22 third quarter earned 9.53 billion rupees. That's business news. Economic news up next.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekaktiana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dakapugina habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship ekamenna.
The all new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Economic news, courtesy of
LONC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LONC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
Merchandise exports for the period January to December 2022 increased by 4.6% to $13,070.6 million compared to the corresponding period of 2021. Apparel and textile exports increased by 9.56% to $5,933.52 million during the period of January to December 2022 compared to the same period of 2021. And that's economic news.
LONC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LONC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LONC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
Weather report.
And the Met Department says the depression over the southwest Bay of Bengal lay centered near 8.2 degrees north and 82.6 degrees east, about 110 kilometers east of Batticaloa today morning. It is likely to move southwestward and reach the east coast of Sri Lanka in the afternoon or night. The cloudy skies will prevail over most parts of the island, and showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the northern, north central and eastern provinces. Showers or thundershowers will occur elsewhere during the afternoon or night. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the northern, north central, eastern and Uva provinces and in the Puttalam district. This weather report was published this evening at 7:30 p.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The President says that although the lives lost due to internal war cannot be given back, the economic and social conditions of the relatives of those victims will be restored. The President stated that the real victory of the government will depend on how the economic challenges are addressed. The US says all creditors must agree to fair and equitable treatment. Over 70 military officers awarded with the Vishishta Seva Vibhushna medals. It is stressed that government institutions should function as profit-making entities through effective management of those institutions. The Excise Department plans to close all liquor shops in connection with the 75th Independence Day of Sri Lanka. The Gazette on the local government election date published. Foreign Minister Sabri meets the US official Victoria Nuland. Mudalige leaves court premises after being granted bail. Pope Francis in the Democratic Republic of Congo, a million celebrate Kinshasa Mass. And Enzo Fernandez transfer news, Chelsea complete British record £107 million fee for Benfica midfielder. With that we conclude tonight's news broadcast.